Thank you for this comment. And for everybody else seeing this TikTok, before you listen in, pause it, go to the bio, download the scorecard, and then come back to this TikTok. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. That's all it takes, about 2 minutes. Go do that. Go. Go. Yeah, go get it. So here's the thing that I think we don't understand too. We're on social media consuming so much content, so much information coming in, downloaded into these noggins we call brains, so much at once all the time. We don't realize that some of the information that we're getting that should be things we learn from, ways in which we navigate the world differently. Too much of that erodes our empathy. And I see it in my comment section. I talk about this all the time. I see it in my comment section. One of my mutuals here and a friend of mine, Anne, she had me on her podcast, and she wanted me to come on the podcast because she wanted to talk about the erosion of empathy she's seeing in us as Black people. And I don't think a lot of us know how far removed we are from empathy until we have to sit with something that mirrors back to us whether or not we actually have it. And I think most people would say, I'm a very empathetic person. I'm a very kind person. I listen to what people say. I'm very understanding of people and what's going on in their lives. And then the next sentence is something that demonstrates they're not understanding of people and what is happening in their lives. They're looking through everybody through the lens of the context by which they are experiencing the world. Empathy allows you to think about the context in which the person on the other side of this conversation is or has experienced the world. This weekend, if you've been following my Friends Only story on TikTok, I talked about what happened this weekend with an acquaintance who was incredibly selfish and self-absorbed at Lee's celebration of life. And even experiencing them, and even the anger I felt, the disappointment I felt, the sadness I felt, I was still able to extend empathy because I'm thinking about her in the context by which she exists in her life. And so while I still have all the emotions of anger and rage and frustration, and all of the how dare yous, I still can think about her in the context of her life and still extend to her a level of empathy because I know we are always responding out of our own self-talk and our own self-belief. When I did self-talk on the self-empathy scorecard, I wanted people to really think about how they talk to themselves and how you speak to you, how you treat you, how you engage with you. You will come out into the world and treat and talk and engage with people in that very same way. Now, some people are going to say, I actually tend to treat people better than I treat myself. No, you don't. You pretend with people better than you pretend with yourself. Because you get to be nasty to yourself and mean to yourself and nobody knows. I don't know that you're saying how stupid you are, how ugly you are, how fat you are, how dumb you are, how it will never work out. People will never know you. You'll never be as popular as the other girls. You'll never make it on this app. I'm not privy to that conversation, right? That you're having with yourself. I'm not privy to that. And so although you will say to me, you will come on this platform and say to me, I can't wait for your TikToks to blow up. I can't wait for people to know who you are. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. You're saying that. You don't actually believe that for me. Because people can only believe for you what they believe for themselves. The same way that I believe that person thinks more about how they are perceived as a friend rather than how they are showing up as a friend. A lot of people that say they treat people better than they treat themselves, the perception of how they treat people is better than how they treat themselves. But they don't treat those people better than they treat themselves because you cannot believe for me what you don't believe for yourself. So you can say all the things. You can say all the things and mean none of them. You can say all of them and mean none of them. And so I am glad that it's still sitting with you months later to think about how far you've gotten away from empathy. And that's why I created the scorecard, because I want people to think about how far they've gotten away from empathy. And once you do the scorecard, or once you engage in the work of empathy, you even consume content differently. And that's the truth. You consume content differently. You want to see behind what the person is saying, whereas before you just accepted what the person was saying. So thank you for this. Go get your scorecards.